she's an idiot as always. That's what my mom wrote in the family group chat. About me. I was scrolling through old messages trying to double-check the Easter menu. I'd already placed the bakery order, booked the catering, prepaid for the chairs and the tent. That's when I saw it. Mom, holiday Parasite. Dad, haha. Mom, she's an idiot as always. I stared at it. It wasn't even hidden, just sitting there. They didn't know I was still in the thread. Didn't realize the new iMessage update lets you view deleted messages. Or maybe they just didn't care. I didn't cry. Not right away. Because shock always comes dressed as silence. I'd spent years funding Easter. Every year. Every ham, every chair rental, every last minute, we forgot dessert. Not once did they ask if I could afford it. They just assumed I could, assumed I would. And I did, because I thought love was something you proved with receipts. But that night I canceled every single payment. The bakery. The tent. The florist. Gone. And then I did something I'd never done before. I took screenshots of every invoice I'd paid over the last 5 years, labeled, totaled, and dropped them all in the group chat. Then I wrote one line. Your Parasite just backed out. Good luck hosting. And I left the chat. No rage. No threats. Just a clean exit. My name is Tessa. I'm 32. And if you think you know how this ends, stay tuned, because the moment they treated my effort like entitlement, they lost something they never knew how to hold. By sunrise my phone had exploded. 8 missed calls from Mom. 3 from Dad. 1 from my cousin Lena. Are you okay? The group chat was a disaster. I didn't answer any of them. Instead I brewed my coffee slowly, stood by the window, and let the silence fill the space where their guilt was supposed to live. Around 10 a.m. the calls stopped, replaced by messages half apologies half blame. We didn't mean it like that. You know how we joke. Why would you take it so personally? But here's the thing. I had taken everything personally for years. Every forgotten birthday. Every backhanded compliment. Every time Mom said, "At least your brother makes us laugh." Every time I paid without being thanked, and was still called dramatic for asking for fairness. I wasn't the favorite. I was the function, the planner, the wallet, the quiet fixer. And now that the function had shut down, they didn't know how to handle the silence. By noon my brother messaged. Nice tantrum. You ruined Easter. I stared at the words then smiled. Because what they called a tantrum was actually a boundary, one I should have drawn years ago. I replied with a screenshot, the one where Mom called me a parasite, and added one line. You don't get to eat what you mock. Then I blocked him. And just like that, Easter became the first holiday I spent in peace. Not with people who confused love with leverage. That weekend the family group chat rebranded itself. They removed my name, renamed it Just Us, and posted selfies from a last-minute backyard Easter setup. Folding chairs, plastic tablecloths, and a grocery store cake already melting in the sun. Mom captioned her post. Even without certain people, family shows up red heart #blessed. It got 3 likes, 2 from people I didn't even recognize. Lena sent me a screenshot and wrote, they're pretending it's fine but it's a mess. I didn't ask for details. Didn't need the play-by-play. I'd spent so long behind the scenes making everything look picture-perfect that I already knew the cracks by heart. They didn't know how to order catering without me. Didn't know the tent vendor required a deposit. Didn't realize the chairs had to be reserved weeks in advance. They didn't plan the day, they just reacted to my absence. And it showed. That afternoon I took myself to brunch. Alone. Sunny patio, fresh mimosa, no one asking me to split a bill I already paid. I watched kids run past in pastel dresses, smiled at strangers, tipped extra. It wasn't extravagant. It was quiet. And full. I posted one photo, just my plate, my hand holding a fork, with the caption, sometimes peace looks like absence. No tags. No shade. Just truth. They could spin it however they wanted. But deep down they all knew, when the planner leaves the illusion shatters. And I didn't just walk away from a holiday. I walked away from a job I was never paid for, and love I was always expected to earn. By Monday the narrative shifted. Now I wasn't just too sensitive. I was selfish, ungrateful, the one who made Easter about money. Funny, considering they never noticed it was about money. Every receipt I dropped in the chat went unanswered. Every year they thanked my brother for coordinating everything, while I paid deposits behind the scenes, and got called controlling for asking who was bringing napkins. This time I let them tell their version. I didn't argue, didn't defend, because I'd finally learned, people committed to misunderstanding you will never hear the truth. But people watching closely, they already saw it. Lena texted again. Aunt May called Mom out. Said it was low to mock you in the chat. Mom denied it. So I sent her the screenshot. I didn't ask what happened next. But I could imagine. The panic, the scramble, the realization that what they whispered wasn't just heard. It was documented. I opened my computer and updated a folder. Inside it, every message, every receipt, every word they wished I hadn't seen. Because this time I wasn't cleaning up after them. I was keeping the record straight. Screenshots, receipts, bank statements. Proof that memory isn't petty, it's protective. They wanted me to come back to be the bigger person. But forgiveness isn't owed just because blood says so. Sometimes the only apology you'll ever get is the silence that follows exposure. And I was finally okay with that. Because I hadn't lost a family. I'd stepped out of an unpaid role and into my own peace. By midweek the calls began. Dad first, his voice awkward, overly casual. Hey, just checking in. Hope you're okay. Your mom's been upset. You know how she gets. Then a pause, waiting for me to fill the silence. I didn't. He cleared his throat. She didn't mean it. Things were said in frustration. Let's just move past it. But moving past it was always their code. For me letting it go, for me forgetting, for me pretending it never happened. I ended the call with one word. Noted. Then I blocked the number. 2 hours later, a message from my cousin. Aunt Jenna says your mom's not eating. Says you broke her heart. No one mentioned the text. No one mentioned the word Parasite. No one mentioned the years I gave, the sacrifices I made that were never acknowledged. Because when the scapegoat steps off the stage, the entire performance unravels. Lena texted again. They're panicking. Group chat went silent. They're afraid of what you'll post next. I hadn't planned on posting more. But that message made me realize something. They weren't sorry. They were scared. Not of losing me, but of losing the version of me who kept quiet to keep the peace. So I posted a story. A screenshot of my Easter expenses from the last 5 years. $1,200 here. $800 there. No names, just a caption. Ask who paid. Ask who planned. Ask who called me a parasite. No response. Just silence. The kind that follows a truth too loud to ignore. The silence didn't last long. By Friday the group chat pinged again. This time from Mom. We all say things we don't mean. You've embarrassed the entire family. Are you proud of that? No apology, just blame disguised as concern. I read it twice then closed my phone. Because here's the truth they never wanted to face. I wasn't trying to embarrass them. I was trying to exist without being mocked, used, or erased. For years I did everything they never saw. And everything they did see they twisted. If I brought food I was showing off. If I asked for help I was too emotional. That night I went back through my photos. There I was, setting up folding chairs, holding trays of deviled eggs, filling plastic eggs with candy while kids screamed and laughed around me. Smiling in every single photo. But I could see it now. That smile was made of survival. Lena messaged again. I think they're starting to realize. You always made the holidays happen. You were the glue and now it's cracked. Good. Let it break. Let them feel the weight of their own words in the space I once filled. Because I wasn't going to stitch myself back together just so they could tear me open again next year. This time I was done. Not in anger. Not in bitterness. Just in peace. And peace, when it arrives, doesn't knock. It walks right in and locks the door behind it. Saturday morning. My doorbell rang twice. Then a pause. Then again, longer, louder. I peeked through the side window. Dad, holding a plastic grocery bag. Shoulders hunched like a boy in trouble. I didn't open the door. Instead I answered through the intercom. Yes. He flinched at the sound. It's just me. Brought your favorite cake from that place near the library. Thought we could talk. I almost laughed. Not at the cake but at the sheer audacity. Dad, who once told me I overdramatized everything, was now standing in the rain, offering sugar to erase scars. Why now? I asked. He blinked. Because you matter. Your mom, she's not good with words. I let the silence hang. Not good with words. but somehow perfectly fluent in insults, labels, and digital betrayal. "You can leave the cake," I said finally, "but I won't open the door." He nodded slowly, setting the bag down. "Hey, I get it, I think." As he turned, I saw it. The confusion, the dawning understanding that I was no longer the family doormat. I was the boundary. Inside, my phone buzzed. "Lena, you good?" I replied with a picture. The cake sitting untouched on my porch, rain beginning to soak the box. Caption: "Some things can't be sweetened." For the first time in years, my chest felt light. Not because anything was fixed, but because I wasn't carrying it anymore. Easter morning came. No group chat messages. No calls. No guilt-laced reminders. Just quiet, the rare golden kind. I brewed coffee slowly, letting the steam rise like a ceremony. No deviled eggs. No baskets. No family duty. Instead, I walked barefoot across the grass in my backyard, spread a blanket, and opened my journal. There in ink, I wrote the truth I'd always danced around. I was never the parasite. I was the host. And now I've stopped feeding what only drained me. At noon, I posted one last image. A collage of 10 years of Easter tables. Dozens of receipts, me holding babies, serving food, smiling, cleaning, showing up. Caption: "She wasn't the holiday parasite. She was the unpaid event planner, therapist, gift buyer, emotional buffer, peacekeeper, and cleanup crew. She left. You're on your own now." I turned off notifications and turned on music. By sunset, I danced alone in my kitchen. No noise, no shame, no performance. Just freedom. Later, one last text from Lena. "They're scrambling. Can't find the plastic eggs. Can't even find matching chairs." I smiled. Because that was the revenge. Not bitterness. Not exposure. Just letting them taste what it feels like when the one they called a burden was actually the backbone. And now that spine had walked away. Straight, tall, and never looking back.